Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tabletop Tavern. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jenny. I will be your dungeon master for the entirety of forever. I'm going to allow my wonderful players to introduce themselves, with the exception of Ryan, who plays Galen Wayfair, who could not make it this week, but will hopefully be back next week. For now, I'm going to start with the beautiful, the fabulous, the wearing a yellow dress today, which is new, Victoria Shaz.
And my name is Victoria, and I play Lady Lione the Belle.
I'm Doe, or Doe Deer, and I play Gris Littlefoot.
And I'm Pippin, and I play Ariadne and Kaita.
Alright, so for those of you who weren't here last week or haven't been here before, we like to start every episode with a little summary of what happened last time, just to make sure you're all caught up. Last episode on the Tabletop Tavern, the party reunited after 3 months apart, with a very sad occasion. They had to celebrate the life of the fabulous Leonida LaBelle, Lione LaBelle's grandmother. After the service, which was, I think, quite beautiful, despite forcing Ariadne to come up with a speech on the spot, they learned that another beloved NPC, Marius Steele, the paramour of Lione LaBelle, was suffering from some of the less common side effects of lycanthropy. Lione, obviously concerned about her lover and wanting to do everything in her power to help him, revealed to the party that she did in fact know of a spell that could save him. But it required a very rare item. An offering stolen from the altar of a long-dead god. That brings us to where we are now. You all went to bed at the end of last episode, all in separate rooms. The next morning, Thad sends a servant, as promised, with the book from Marius's home. First thing in the morning. It's very, very early. Only 2 of you have arrived to breakfast, Lione and Galen. Lione, you hurriedly open up the book to the page that Marius had told you about the night before. Unfortunately, it appears several of the pages in this book have been severely water damaged and aren't even really legible anymore. But you are struck by the familiarity of the book's title and realize that there is a copy of this volume in the library at Freylin. Lione sends Galen, the only other person awake, to fetch the book immediately, saying she'll send word to Valdethus as to where the party is going and to have Galen meet them there. By the time Gris and Ariadne, who's sort of helping Marius into a seat at the dining table, arrive, Galen has hailed a carriage and left very suddenly and very swiftly, leaving the 3 of you and Marius at the table. Your mother, Lione, is nowhere to be seen, although you did see Bertram bringing a tray of food up to her room when you woke up this morning.
As kind of Gris and Ari go to sit down, Lione goes, "Okay, so I have the book. Problem.
Lovely.
Part of it's water damaged."
Less lovely.
Water damaged?
Yeah, which, Marius, how did a book get water damaged in your library? I've never seen any of your books like that.
You know, Lione, you look very pretty today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you look ravishing. I'm enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
Ariadne, you gonna eat those eggs? I'll have some of them.
So did
Marius,
you
yeah, go ahead.
damage the book, Marius?
You remember how we had that conversation and you were like, there's this thing called self-care, and you showed me like the masks that you can like put on your face that make your skin really soft.
Yeah.
And like, you like showed me that thing with the steam, and you looked really pretty and very smart the whole time, and you did a really good job of explaining it. I took a bath and dropped the book in the... You remember how you told me I shouldn't take books into the bathtub?
Yes, I do distinctly remember telling you that.
Well, that's definitely not what I did.
Right.
It's definitely a mystery. Yep.
Definitely a mystery, but too funny.
The biggest mystery. Mm-hmm. I have a solution,
think it's quite
however.
obvious that he did. I don't understand what the mystery here is.
Ariadne,
I thought we were cool. First you tell me that you can't get drunk anymore, and now you come out here, you're gonna blow up my spot in front of Lione, who...
Oh! Well,
Marius.
you should have said something!
Marius, it's actually fine. I've seen this book before. Valdethus has a copy.
Oh, okay, so, I was taking a bath and I dropped it in the
Yeah,
bathtub.
okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So Galen was here when Thad sent the servant over, and that's where Galen went. I basically just asked him to go to Valdethus post-haste, and I'm just going to let him know where we're going.
Wow, but Thad found the correct book and everything?
Hmm?
Thad found the right book and everything?
Lione kind of, like, shows it to Marius and is like...
Marius, like, crosses his arm and lets out a low whistle, and he's like... He never ceases to surprise me.
I didn't even know he was literate.
I mean...
He's a steal!
I know, it's a joke. It's a joke. I can make jokes, everyone. I know I'm very, like, angry all the time. I promise. I'm capable of making jokes.
And I think you are very funny, Lione.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lione kind of goes, okay, everybody, eat up. She kind of, like, already munched on a couple of things while she was waiting for everyone to come down. And I kind of want to take a look at the book and see what I can figure out.
Okay. So the rest of you, are you going to eat? What are you going to do?
I would like a food description of these eggs that I just handed Marius.
Okay,
Did you expect anything less?
We always ask.
I know. Can you roll, I'm gonna make you roll a perception check and take a bite of the eggs. If you want to know about the eggs, you gotta eat them.
I do. Give me a moment.
They like emu eggs.
Oh my god, 10 plus 7, 17.
You take a big bite of these steaming eggs. They are cheesy. They are delicious. There is not a vegetable to be found. It is nothing but protein, fat, and dairy. And it is maybe the tastiest thing you've ever eaten. It is like a little bit greasy, which you would have really appreciated back in the days when you could get hungover. But now you can just really appreciate a solid egg. You've actually never tasted an egg this delicious before. It's got to be from some kind of rare creature. Because you've had chicken eggs. You've had a lot of chicken eggs. In fact, monks seem to do a lot of, like, taking a food, boiling it, and not seasoning it. And back at the temple, you certainly had your fair share of just, like, plain boiled eggs. You know your eggs. And these, chef's kiss. You are in heaven for a brief moment as it settles on your tongue.
Thank you very much, God Jenny.
You're very welcome. Faithful worshipper Pippin.
Lovely. So I'm just shoving my face. That I expect that perception check to last as long as the eggs and ignore everything else around me.
Okay. All right.
I think Gris is like sitting cross-legged in the chair. I imagine the chair's probably a little large for her. And slowly kind of looking at different pastries, maybe picking them up, inspecting them. And she like tears some apart and eats them and puts the other half on her plate. And then she also just takes some and they go directly into her satchel for later.
Fair enough.
These are like pretty close to pastries you've had here before. It seems like maybe they have like a preferred baker. They're buttery, they're delicious. A couple are chocolate filled, which they actually, I think the last time you were here, you didn't get to have chocolate pastries. It seems like maybe this is a special occasion. Maybe someone knew that Lione was going through a little something and made sure to get her an extra special treat this morning.
Lione was eating those ones in particular. Just to make it really clear.
Marius,
extra time on the chocolate ones, I imagine. Savoring.
Marius definitely took some of the eggs, but he's like kind of just pushing them around. Like he's not really eating them. He is drinking water though, and he seems to like be pointing to the water and then pointing to himself, like, Lione, look, like I'm
hydrated king.
Like I'm drinking some water. You proud of me?
Leone's like gently applauding. But she's like trying to figure out what's going on in the book, so she's like, great work, Marius.
If I do notice Marius pushing them around, I look at him just like, then why'd you ask me for them?
Lione was asking about the book, and I was...
a distraction. Okay, listen, just gotta make it clear. You've known
Do
me
we
for
need
a long time.
a code word? Like, what are you thinking? Like, it's gotta be something we don't say that often.
Turtle. I like turtle.
Ooh,
there are lots of turtles in Sylvanas' temple.
Do turtles exist?
Turtles do exist here, yeah.
Turtles
but like, what if we mention a turtle in casual conversation? I feel like that's bound to come up. Okay, hear me out on this.
So do we need a code word for turtles instead?
Oh, no, but that's too many code words. Hear me out on this one. All right? The code word is... mantequilla. I heard it's a word in Sylvan?
Lione looks at Gris.
Fine.
Nope. Nope.
Leon is just staring at Gris like, what is going on?
Gris is just like, scones.
I go, I haven't, I still haven't picked all my Sylvan back up from forgetting most of it, actually. So you might be right. Either way, I can make those sounds with my mouth, so I think it works.
Okay, or hear me out on this one. The code word is... Ariadne. And I'll just call you Ari all the time. And then if I say Ariadne, it means I need you to lie to Lione for me.
That's fair. I like that, because it also means
You realize I'm right here.
Leon's right there. She knows.
Hey babe, you know how you love me so much.
I'll let it go.
Like,
and Leon turns back to the book.
The last 30 seconds of conversation.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, like, Marius is like, yeah, and gives you like a little like fist to like fist bump.
Fist bump.
Hell yeah. So you guys tap knuckles. Let's see, Lione, you wanted to check out the book.
Yeah, I wanted to read the book.
Let's get an investigation.
Okay.
What are you looking for in this book?
I guess I'm trying to figure out any mention of Hetrasil, or even the son of Hetrasil, or the location of Hetrasil's, like, temple.
Okay.
Oh god, okay. Well, it's not great.
Oh shit.
It's not terrible.
But it's not great.
11 plus 2, 13.
Alright, so you kind of like flip through the book. A lot of these pages are water stained. It looks like maybe Marius dropped it in the bathtub and like let it sit there for a minute before he pulled it out.
Good. Just vibes.
Relaxation.
Bestie vibes only.
Yeah, too relaxed. He took a book bath.
Yeah.
You manage to see a few things. The most information you can really get is a line. It's half too waterlogged to read, but you can see Hetrasil begat Myrkul, the god of death in his stead, after his fall and eventual death. There's a comma after the word death, but you can't read anything beyond that. You also notice that the chapter title of this book is what appears to be Elvish, but it's not any dialect of Elvish with which you are familiar.
Leon turns the book. Ari?
Do I understand it?
You do not, but you think you maybe recognize it, but you can't really recall where from.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I can kind of... I mean, it looks familiar, but then again, like, a lot of Elvish script looks familiar.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with right now as well. Like, I know Elvish, obviously. But, like, not this version.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm quite sure I probably just memorized a lot of words and can't actually read. So, I'm honestly not that helpful.
Okay. I mean, that's good. That's good to know.
You know, Ariadne, I'm teaching... I help the kid with the skateboard teach Travis how to read. You could come by at the bar. We could do reading lessons.
No, I can get it. I'm just saying, you ever look at a word and it stops being a word the more you look at it because it just looks wrong? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. See, no, stop looking at me like that, Marius. They get it. They're nodding.
Oh, I used to write the word tree a lot because I was really into trees when I was younger, and I would write.
Are you sure it was just when you were younger, Gris?
You're right. I would write it in the dirt, and then I would write it on Reese's back sometimes and make him guess it. And now I think the word tree actually kind of looks like a tree.
Okay, so
not even gonna acknowledge that. Actually,
Marius like looks at you, Gris, for a really long time, and he's like, "One of these days, you'll have to write out the word tree for me."
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Lione turns the book to Marius and is like, "Do you know what this says?"
Lione.
You read a lot of these. You obviously read this one.
Sure, but I don't think anyone alive speaks Ancient Elvish.
It's Ancient Elvish?
Ancient Elvish.
Yeah, it's the Ancient Elvish. He's like pointing at it. He's like, it's that. Yeah, I mean, maybe some elves live to be really old, but this seems like, probably.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Years.
That makes sense because it looks familiar, but the truth is, why would anyone bother to learn an ancient language?
No monks learn ancient languages to read texts.
So, question for you, Jenny.
Answer for you.
Listen.
It's not for the DM. So, hearkening back to my medieval lit days. All right.
It is not
ancient
as
English
similar.
Is like just a little bit different. There's like not enough similarity there.
Ancient Elvish is a better analogy would be ancient Iberian script to modern Spanish, where medieval Spanish is going to be medieval, but it's not necessarily ancient.
Right, okay.
Ancient is going to be like what ancient Greek is to modern Greek.
So entirely different languages, technically.
Yeah, like you might recognize like the letter A.
Old English.
Or a couple of Bs, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. But the vast majority of it
is
the dialect
different.
Didn't transition over. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what I wanted to clarify as to whether or not we'd be able to translate it at all. Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything in the book that says where the temple is?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
The Temple of Hetrasil?
Yeah.
No.
Or a Temple of Myrkul, rather.
The temple you've been to. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, can I have everybody roll a history check?
Okay, yeah. Have we been to the Temple of Myrkul? Oh, what? We fucking did, didn't we?
Did I go? Was I knocked out during that?
I mean, it's in that city.
But
no, it's not in that city. Roll your history checks.
15.
Oh.
9.
Can anyone beat a 15?
No.
Doe, would you please open up your notes from Season 1, Episode 1, The Dead Man Walking?
Oh my god, that was the Temple of Myrkul?
I can't believe.
The funeral people.
Yeah.
With the blind lady. Not the famous blind lady.
When I asked for the manager.
Yeah.
All I have written is hot elf who knows Leone's mom.
Okay.
It's the one where I asked for the manager.
Yeah,
it was just outside of Alis. That was where the Dead Man Walking went.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left.
So you're all kind of looking at each other like,
bodies.
Where would the Temple of Myrkul be? And finally Marius looks at you all and he goes, Lione, do you remember how your grandmother died and there were clerics who came and they took her body to the Temple of Myrkul?
That's what they do? That's where the bodies are?
It was
bodies.
Well, how do you I mean, I guess you could just bury we don't have a lot of spare space to get rid of.
You should decompose. That's what mushrooms are for. You bury a body in a field filled with mushrooms, and then the mushrooms slowly decompose your body and make more mushrooms.
Oh, and I'm sure
that's nightmarish.
Luciano would be really happy with
nightmarish
with Vic, with Leone digging a hole in the rose garden and putting.
Yeah. No. No. Mm-mm. No. That's Gris. I want you to understand. I respect that that's how y'all do it. I will never do that.
Well, if I die, and she looks at Lione,
shut your mouth,
and then looks at Ariadne, and then looks at Marius and says,
"You're not dying."
If you don't bury me in a field of mushrooms, I will be livid. And I will.
I mean, if that's a guaranteed way to get you to come back and haunt us, shouldn't we do that?
Oh, my restless soul wandering, looking for a field of mushrooms? You want that, Ari?
Yeah, we had to work very hard to get your soul back, so how about we don't have you die point blank, period. Now that you've mentioned it, Marius, I've actually been to that temple before. Do you all remember the night we met?
Vividly.
Vaguely.
Remember we went to that temple looking for the dead man walking?
Yeah, the one where they were burning bodies.
Yes, that's the Temple of Myrkul.
I don't want to go back there. It was weird.
We have to.
Oh my god.
Maybe someone there can read this. It's also literally just outside of town.
But wasn't there that one creepy cleric who just kind of like...
Well, we'll just...
I kind of rolled up and asked them to speak to the head cleric. So I was kind of the problem there, I would say. Maybe.
You did
not that my attitude's going to change at all this time around. Because now I have more sway. I'm a paladin.
Ari like gives a big, just like rolls their eyes. Just like it's too early for this. But I do sort of redirect and go, and I look at Gris and I'm like, and I mean, not to, remind everyone why we're looking for this place in the first place, but we're kind of on a time crunch, and I like point a thumb at Marius.
Marius appears to have sort of like half dozed off on his hand, and he's like, "It's fine. I'm fine. I really don't think this entire thing's necessary at all." But
you're not even eating breakfast, Marius.
You would say that, Marius.
Can I rip a little piece of bread off a roll, and I pelt it at him, just be like, "Don't say that. Negative reinforcement."
The bread bounces off of his chest, and then he swats it, and he's like, "Okay, Ariadne."
Gris is like, Marius, if I'm gonna steal from a god and go along with this plan, you gotta be a little bit more excited about it.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
You can go.
So there's no guarantee that the Temple of Myrkul is going to be the same place that we need to go for Hetrasil, but maybe at least they'll have some more information. Or maybe there's something there that we can use. I'm going to, and Lione kind of like, she casts message to Bertram.
Bertram's like, "Good morning, ma'am. I hope you found your breakfast to your liking."
It was absolutely fantastic. Bertram, you're wonderful. Thank you for the chocolate pastries. They were just so good. Can you send a letter post-haste to Valdithus telling Galen that we are going to the Temple of Myrkul, which is where we went when I asked for the manager the night we met?
The one right outside of town, ma'am?
Yes, the one just outside of town. That's where we're going.
Do you think you'll be staying there, ma'am?
Not sure.
I hope not.
Mention in the letter that he may receive further instruction from other letters.
Very good, ma'am. I will tell you what, ma'am. When you know where you are going, you let me know via your preferred means of communication. And then I will make sure he has a way to get to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Done. Thank you.
Bird.
Very good, ma'am. How are you today?
I'm going to be happier once we figure out how to help Marius.
And how is Sir Marius?
He's not eating.
Very good, ma'am. I will make sure he rests while you are gone.
Thank you.
You are very welcome, ma'am.
Lione, after just kind of like sitting and staring for the whole conversation, she's just like, she's got the book in her hands and she's like, just thinking. She closes the book, puts it in her bag of holding, and claps her hands together and says, "Are you both feeling ready to go?"
I mean, you're the one who generally decides when we leave, so
Are you done
if
eating?
you're ready, we're ready.
I don't want to stop
yeah.
you when you're in the middle of eating.
Gris is digging through like the pile of scones or the plate of scones and making sure to pull out all the chocolate ones and placing them into her satchel.
Oh, that's
and then
a great idea.
I lean over to Gris and I'm like,
you can have
maybe
some later.
No, and I'm like, maybe leave one for Marius to enjoy.
Marius, you want a chocolate scone?
Marius, like, has completely zoned out. He looks over to you. He's like, do I want what?
Chocolate scone.
No, I'm okay. Gris, do you have... Not to... I know this is...
More of that tincture? Yes.
Yeah.
And she puts the scone in her bag and like moves the other scones aside and digs to the bottom where there's just vials clinking around against each other, and she pulls
the
out.
vials she bought.
No, I never
those were
returned
taken
those.
away from me.
Oh right.
No.
She probably stocked up between seasons. And pulls out one with like a greenish yellow liquid and hands it over to Marius and said, "If you need more, I have more. And I know it's kind of gross, so you can put it in a drink. Maybe your water, if you want."
He just, like, takes the dropper and then drops it on his tongue while making direct eye contact with you and is like, it's fine.
Gris is like, "We should go. He's worse off than I thought."
Okay. Lione leans over and gives Marius a kiss. And then...
Leon, you do that, and he's like, whoa. A gentleman always says goodbye at the door.
You don't have to, Marius.
Yes, I do. And he, like, uses his cane to stand, and Ariadne, are you sitting next to him, it sounds like?
Yeah. I was gonna say, can I just stand up and, like, offer him the bro service that Galen offered him yesterday?
Absolutely. So he acts like it's, like, a complicated handshake, and then, like, lets you help him up, and goes, see, no problem.
Lione looks at him and says, fine. And then heads towards the door.
Okay, so do you all head towards the door? Do you have your everything?
Yeah. I feel like Lione would run upstairs, get all of her weapons, put her armor on, and then meet everyone at the door.
Marius is, like, leaning on Ariadne, and he's like,
yeah.
Oh god, do you need anything upstairs?
No, I'm quite good. I don't own that many things. Certainly not as many as Lione.
I imagine Gris scrambled out of the chair and is like waiting probably just outside the door inspecting plants in the Labelle garden.
Alright, Leon, so you run upstairs, you grab whatever you need. You come back down, but as you are upstairs, and Gris is distracted by the plants, Ariadne, Marius, like, looks at you for a second, and he goes, You're going to the Temple of Myrkul.
Yes.
Lione would be upset if I did this, and I think Gris would scold me, but you, of all people, should understand wanting to give someone some closure, just in case. So, and he gives you a note, and he says, if this doesn't work, can you give this to her?
I take it from him, and I just, like, quickly stash it just in case so Gris wouldn't see. And I take a deep breath and I look at him and I go, first of all, don't say that. I will pelt you with Bredian. Second of all, of course.
All right, and at the risk of the bread, again, this one is for the clerics. And he, like, hands it to you.
Okay, I will make sure they get it, even if I have to talk to the creepy one for you. I do.
Thank you, Ariadne. So, Leon, you come downstairs. Gris has sort of, like, shoved her head into your mother's favorite bird of paradise and is, like, rooting around. She's sort of looking at the pollen collection. She appears to be taking, like, the pollen from one of these and is, like, rubbing it on its neighbor's, like, stamen, like, really aggressively with a hand. She's, like, very much, like, barefoot in your mother's indoor flower bed, just really rooting around in there.
I love that.
It looks like Ariadne and Marius have just finished a conversation, and both are sort of watching you a little suspiciously, but also like, you know, the two of them are always doing some half-brained scheming.
Lione doesn't think much of it, and she approaches Marius and gives him a kiss, and says, I swear to the goddess, if you do not rest, I will sick Bertram on you.
Yeah,
Also,
I expect
if
you don't, because I'm still holding him. I look at him and I go, I expect if you don't die from all of this, if you die before we get back, she will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but she will.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Gris like slowly crawls out of this flower bed, and she like wipes her hands off on the edge of her tunic, kind of leaving pollen behind. And she's like, "Absolutely not, Marius. You're gonna stay alive. That tincture is gonna keep you alive, and sleeping's gonna keep you alive. Also, Lione, you should tell your mother to get some pollinators in here. Think you could use some bees."
My mother's never planted anything in her life. I'll tell Bertram.
Lione, Marius is sort of like untangling himself from Ariadne and takes her hands and looks you deep in the eyes, and he says, "Noted.
Mm-hmm.
I love you too. Be careful.
I will.
Don't die for me.
I won't.
Thank you. That's all I ask. And you too, be careful too. Don't let her die for me."
Gris nods and like taps her nose and like points at him and winks.
He like taps his nose and winks too. Like,
this is a temple.
I just like whisper to him. I'm like, is that just another signal type thing?
yes.
Because there's a lot of them now. And they're confusing.
Yes.
Lione kind of starts to like usher them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to go.
Marius like leans on his cane and watches you all sort of walk towards the door.
Marius,
Yeah. Yes.
we'll see you again. And Gris like does the death stare where she like looks him dead in the eyes from really far down low, and is like, "Trust me."
He smiles and nods, and then very somberly goes, "In this plane or the next one, Gris?"
Gris kind of chuckles and just nods and turns
We will see you again, and that is a threat.
We will see you again, threatening.
Threatening.
So as we start to walk, once we get, I would say like around a corner, completely out of earshot of the LaBelle Manor, no one's gonna hear shit. Leone's obviously leading the pack. She turns and says, "I need to tell you both something. There's a reason I didn't tell you last night. It's because you all don't have a filter. And I say that with peace and love. There is one thing that Marius doesn't know, and I didn't want it coming out when he is so stressed, so I lied to you about part of this. But I want you to know before we get there so that you're fully aware." And Lione kind of waits for them to acknowledge what she's saying.
I like squint my eyes at her and just go, well, I guess at least like the average time between the lies is getting shorter. And I like look down at Gris and like, so it's like, that's progress.
It's not. It was. So I haven't. Marius doesn't know.
I like reach out and put a hand on Leone's shoulder. I'm just like squeezing. I'm like, I know. I'm just saying.
I know. Marius doesn't know that I swallowed Tafine's pearl.
Oh.
And I know that if I had told you what I'm about to tell you, you all would have started talking about that. And the last thing Marius needs right now is more stress on him. And I was going to tell him, and then he started getting sick, and then I didn't. He already worries so much for me. He doesn't need to know that I ate a goddess. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's, and I know that you all would have been like, really? So anyways, you know how I said I found out about this spell in a book?
Yes. Where was the book? What was? I knew
it
you were
wasn't
hiding something
in a book.
Oh no. Was it in your dreams? Was it written on a wall in a weird language?
Not on a wall. I did read it. I wasn't lying about that.
Where, Lione? And Gris is like grabbing her arm and like shaking it. Like, where did you read it?
I woke up one morning and it was on a piece of paper under my pillow.
Under your pillow on a piece. Oh, Lione.
I know that it will help, and I'm telling you this so that you can make a decision as to whether or not you want to do this. I need your help, but I will do this alone if I have to. I know it will help Marius. I know it will.
Well, first of all, we're not leaving you alone. Second of all, I'm not leaving Marius to die if I can do something about it.
I really appreciate that, Ari.
But third of all, how about you trust more established means of communications in the future?
Yes.
I'm just saying that there's like there needs to be some oversight about the messages you get in general.
I don't really have much control over the messages that I get. I didn't really make the active decision for a piece of paper to be left under my pillow.
You did, no, but you did swallow a goddess.
You did.
By God knows who.
So you didn't recognize the handwriting?
No.
Did anything in here say anything?
No.
Do you have the spell
so
on you?
So this isn't...
Do you have the written spell on you?
Yeah, I would have the paper in my bag of holding. I would have kept it.
Gris is like, show it to me. The paper.
Okay. Lione kind of goes digging in her bag of holding and pulls out the piece of paper. And she hands it to Gris.
Can I do an investigation check to see if I recognize the handwriting, recognize anything at all about this?
Yes, you can. Does anyone else want to do an investigation check?
Sure. I'm peering over Gris's shoulder from up top, but in the I don't need to, but in the motion of peering over her shoulder.
17 plus 2. 19.
So, Gris,
16.
Let's start with you. You don't recognize the handwriting, but you do realize that there are two pieces of handwriting on this spell. It's a fairly simple spell, and really it lists the ingredients, which is an object stolen from the altar of a long dead god, and the words to the spell. There is, however, in a second handwriting, less flowery, more cramped, kind of speedily written, almost as if whoever was writing it was trying to get it out very fast, a warning on the page. Lione had mentioned this warning, but she hadn't mentioned the fact that maybe it wasn't the person who wrote the spell who did it. This script is, like I said, fast, and it reads as follows. An affront to the heavens never goes unnoticed. Ghosts still watch the earthly plane. You don't recognize either of these handwritings. Ari.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look at the spell. You're not really one for spells. You, don't even really bother to read the words, but you do notice something.
No.
You don't recognize the first handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
It's floral and just very loopy. It's a little hard to read. It's Common's your second language, and this handwriting went out of its way to make it weird and fancy.
To make it hard. Yeah.
The second handwriting you recognize. You're used to it actually interrupting other letters. Usually, whoever's writing the letters that you receive gets tired of writing about halfway through, and this handwriting tends to take over.
Hey. Then... So I'm checking that it's the right person, because I got sent a lot of letters.
It's not the most important information, but,
Okay, but I do recognize it. Okay, good to know.
You do recognize it, yes.
Gris, after looking at the written spell, kind of grunts, and is like, Lione?
Yes.
First of all, this is two different people, right?
Yes.
And
I don't know who either of them are. It's kind of irrelevant.
But did you read the warning?
I told you the warning yesterday.
And
I'm not a pathological liar.
I'm not saying you're a pathological liar. When it comes to matters of the heart, Trust me. Sometimes we do things that are
I understand. I don't know. Ari, do you recognize anything?
I recognize the second one.
You do?
But yeah. So when am I right in thinking these are Tyler's handwriting interrupting when Travis writes?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because I was like reading a lot all at once. So yeah, I take a closer look at it just to make sure, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I noticed at first, but so Travis, he's been practicing his writing and stuff. But when he gets tired, or just it needs to be more legible than it is, Tyler will step in and write it out in this really obviously quite pretty script. Uncharacteristic for him in my mind, but I guess it works.
Yours. He appears to have written the warning, Pippin.
Okay. So I go. So yeah, I mean, this warning at the very least would seem to be from him. It's from Tyler's, and isn't Tyler a warlock?
Wait, but the top part's not Travis, correct?
You don't know that. You don't know anything about Tyler. The best thing about Tyler is that he can do magic.
My brain is like so ready to metagame right now.
Right.
Bad. Prison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
dice jail.
So you're saying that this was Tyler? I was worried. Not worried. I didn't know who this came from. It could have
just the warning. The spell, those words, weird loops is not him. But it's not Travis. His handwriting is nowhere near as
Well, I didn't
fluid.
think Travis managed to sneak his way into the LaBelle Manor and put something under my pillow either. So,
or did Tyler?
I have been a bit worried for a while that this was either corruption or my father.
That would make sense. Those are two big threats to you right now.
I don't know how Tyler is a part of that. So, Jenny, is the knock-kneed ass?
It's on your way out of town.
It's on our way out to the Temple of Myrkul, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should stop at the knock-kneed ass and try to talk to Tyler about this, and then we'll go to the Temple of Myrkul. It's on the way. I mean, like, we all met at the knock-kneed ass.
Might as well.
Chris nods enthusiastically and kind
Especially if it is his warning, we could ask him to be a lot more clear. These ominous types of things, they just never sit right. Just tell me what to look out for, who I have to punch. You know what I mean?
Gris hands the paper back to Lione, and she's like, he did write it in a hurry, it kind of looks like. So I think maybe we should go stop by.
Definitely. Okay. And Lione just sets off towards the knock-kneed ass. She's holding the paper, ready to be like, Tyler!
She's like walking with the paper.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
What if it flew away?
The grip is probably so tight. The grip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to stop at the knock-kneed ass on your way out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gris is going to struggle to keep up with Leon's fast pace.
I can offer you a piggyback ride.
Gris probably just wants to walk herself.
So it's very early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
The bar is not at all crowded, but it does appear to be open. It's an inn, so it's presumably open at all hours. The door is sort of propped open a little bit to let in the spring breeze.
Lione walks in, and I would like to do a perception check. Who is at the bar?
You don't even have to do a perception check. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is not very high. It's 11.
Travis is at the bar. He's hard to miss. You'd really have to fail that to not see him.
Lione calls out and says, "Good morning, Travis."
Lady LaBelle, it's good to see. Is Marius okay?
Define okay.
Alive.
Live. Yes.
Then yes.
I peek out from behind Lione and I'm like, you don't have to make it that frightening.
I'm sorry.
We're making sure he stays that way.
Working on it, Travis. We're kind of... That's where
is Tyler? I know. Not the person you thought I'd be asking for.
Tyler left, like, a week ago?
No.
Well, Maxilla and The pink thing.
B.
Yeah.
B.
I know her name. It's... They went to go... There's something going on in Maxilla's town. He should be back in a couple days. Why?
Can we show him, Leon? The writing?
I'm thinking... I'm pondering.
What do you want to show me?
Well, maybe we explain. So...
No, actually, how about we just show? Lione kind of like holds it so that mostly just the bottom is showing. Not that she's too concerned, but she kind of just holds it so that he doesn't get like, because she knows he's also learning how to read. So she's trying not to overwhelm him with whatever the fuck that other cursive is. And she's like, can you confirm that this is Tyler's writing?
He, like, leans in really close, and he's, like, trying to look at it, and he's like, Leon, can I hold the paper?
Yes. Yes.
He takes it, he unfolds it, he's like, okay, top, not Tyler's writing. That's
no. I just
Yeah.
thought the bottom looked like it from the letters you sent me sometimes.
He, like, holds it up, and he starts to read it all, start to finish. It takes him a good 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He folds it up, and he goes, that's the kid's handwriting. Is this a spell?
Yes. I just want to know why.
Does Tyler deliver letters? Is he a courier?
Does Tyler deliver...
Travis, can you tell me about
grocer.
Tyler?
What do you want to know about Tyler? Why do you want to know?
What does he do? Why would he write on this paper?
He
A
works
warning.
here. He keeps the bar clean. He's okay at his job.
I feel that you should know that the reason we're also asking is and I'd like look at Leone for a quick second, but I go because this was found under Leone's pillow, which means if it was his handwriting, if he wrote this or at least part of it, and it got there, we're just trying to figure out how Tyler fits into, I guess, this ominous message aimed at Leone.
Tyler's a good kid. He's a good kid. It doesn't...
I'm not saying he's not.
He does magic. He's a wizard or something.
He does magic. Gris kind of tries to scramble up like a bar stool to like get closer to Travis, and she'll kind of like lean her like elbows and like most of her torso on the bar into Travis and kind of like gesture for him to like lean in.
He like...
I mean, he does magic. Like, he does magic like me? Or he studied it?
He can do magic.
Was he like born with it, or does he have like someone? Does he have a book, or does he have like someone that he talks to that gets his power for him?
Anyone unsavory?
You know, we have a lot of guests here. I think you guys should leave.
Why I was trying to whisper it. And Gris kind of grunts and scrambles back down.
Leon says,
really busy. You're more than welcome to talk to him when he gets back, but...
Okay. This is for Marius. I don't know if that makes you change your mind at all.
He like just sort of shakes his head and he's like, you should leave.
Okay.
You need to leave now.
Leon listens. She's clearly not going to get any information out of this man.
Yeah. Yeah, I put like a hand on his shoulder in friendship just to be like, yeah, sorry, also hi and bye all at once.
He pats your head and goes, offer still stands.
Aw.
We'll be back as soon as possible.
Gris follows behind and like turns toward at the end and like kind of shoots him like a sorry kind of wave before they head out.
He's like watching you all leave and he's cleaning a glass really slowly.
After they get out the door, Leon looks at Gris and is like, maybe the word unsavory wasn't the right choice?
Well, obviously they're unsavory, Leon.
You don't know that.
I mean, his whole demeanor changed. He's cleaning that glass very intently.
I mean, like you said, unsavory in the middle of the bar.
Well, maybe I was eating a pastry and it was...
I should mention, there were no patrons in the bar area.
I know. Oh, I'm aware. That man, not
that,
busy.
I just get the feeling that Travis is trying to protect something about Tyler.
Obviously.
Like, there's something we're not supposed to know. And
clearly.
It scared Travis. So, and Gris kind of like gestures to the paper and she's like, I think we should be extra cautious. And
it's not going to stop me.
I know it's not going to stop you, but after the run-in with corruption, there could be more people trying to get you to do certain things because
I'm not that worried about corruption anymore.
I understand that, but you did eat the pearl of the goddess and probably other people want that power, so...
Well, they can't have it. I took it.
Okay, well, maybe they can kill you and take it
from
I don't
you.
know how it works.
I'd like to see them try.
Lione and Gris like turns to Ariadne
like face palmed. But it's just like, this is fine. I mean, we can just come back like he said when Tyler's here.
I mean, by then I will have already had to do the spell.
I was like, we only have a week for Marius, right?
Oh no, I will be doing the spell as soon as humanly possible. I won't be waiting for Tyler to get back. So unless he's back before we do the spell.
To ask about
do we go to the osteo class?
Right.
Do we go see Maxilla?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's multiple days away.
If it's his warning, then how about we figure out the warning?
You are all arguing
in
the middle of the street, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You hear a sound behind you. It sounds like small wheels on a cobblestone street.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You hear the door to the knock-kneed ass open and close behind you.
I'm gonna turn around and look.
The door is closed to the knock-kneed ass.
Can I do an Arcana check?
I mean, yeah, you can do an Arcana check.
Actually, can I use my divine sense?
Wait, I have an idea. Can Gris decide to give Travis a what's the word when you give someone something like a gift for upsetting him in the chocolate scones she stuffed in her bag?
I mean, yeah, you can try to do that, yeah.
Okay, so Gris is getting frustrated and she's like, "Oh, I forgot something." And she quickly like turns around and scrambles back into the bar.
I call after. I'm like, I really don't think he wants to see us.
He'll like this. And Gris kind of goes over to the bar where Travis is. Is he busy? Is he helping a customer?
Travis is talking in a language you don't understand. You've heard a girl in your village speak it on occasion. He's speaking very slowly, enunciating very clearly to a familiar, lanky, incredibly average-looking teenage human holding a skateboard.
Gris just like slowly back out of the bar.
You're gonna leave?
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to know that Tyler's here. Okay.
It doesn't matter. We need to talk to him.
Gris is gonna just rush over once again, climb up a bar stool.
Oh no.
And like slap the chocolate scone down in front of Travis and push it towards him and say, "For you," and then turn to Tyler and said, "Did you write a note recently?"
Oh my god.
I mean,
Travis takes the scone, takes a bite out of it, looks at you and says, "I thought I asked you to leave."
Yeah, but you said we could talk to Tyler when he was here, and I heard the skateboard, and then I wanted to bring you the scone.
Can we see into the bar?
You know that Gris went in there and has now been in there for longer than it takes to hastily give an angry orc a scone.
Lione looks at Ari. Should we?
I mean, isn't that... would it just make him angrier? But
she's
been in there a hot sec.
We can't leave her, right?
Well, no.
Okay, and Lione goes.
Oh, y'all should just trust her. We're gonna bombard him.
Yeah.
I go as far, but if Lione goes inside, I'm just gonna stand by the doorway, just like... I will leave.
Lione doesn't barrel in, she just kind of like gingerly steps in.
Tyler's like holding a skateboard. He's like, "Did I do a what? What?
So Lione recently received a letter with a spell on it, and she starts to kind of whisper and leans into Travis.
Okay, but
or
like,
to Tyler.
Hey, not to cut you off. Who have we met before? Do I know you?
Yes, many times. You bartended Marius's birthday, and then we came here again to play poker, and you were here then giving drinks. I'm Gris, Littlefoot.
You know, I see.
I'm small.
I see a lot of people. Okay, all right. So
I call in after. I'm like, you made me the triple.
I've never made a triple in my life.
Drink.
Travis, I have never. Whoever they are, they're lying. I've never made a triple. That would be against your rules, and I wouldn't break those. Travis
I
is
think
like,
Ari's loud, Lione says. Lione kind of unfurls the paper in her hand. She's like kind of standing by the doorway. She hasn't approached the bar yet. She's looking at Tyler and she's like, Can you come here for a sec? Can you confirm whether this is your writing or not?
I'm not allowed to like cross the bar. I can, if you bring it over, I can.
I'll bring it to you then. And then Lione kind of brings it over and hands him the paper and says, Is this your writing?
I don't know what's going on here. But maybe? What? Who? Where did you get this?
It was under my pillow, Tyler.
Oh, sick.
Oh no.
Okay.
Should we maybe have a chat?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Where do you want to talk?
How about I'm gonna just, let's go for like a really short walk.
Sounds good. Come on.
He like gives you like a finger guns, looks at Travis with just pure panic in his eyes, and Travis just like shrugs.
Gris pulls out another scone and scoots it over to Travis. And is like, sorry.
Lione mouths.
Travis is
Ari
like
just,
looking
Ari
at.
just yells because they're still across the room. Sorry.
Travis is looking at all of you, and he's like, "Okay, Lione, you take the kid."
It won't be long.
So Lione, Tyler just like pulls you to the other side of the door, and he looks at you, Gris, and he's like, "You are not coming."
Can Ariadne go?
No.
And Gris kind of like turns to Ariadne like, she hasn't told us everything. She may not tell us what he tells her.
I mean, yeah, but even if we were there, I expect there's stuff we wouldn't understand.
Travis is like looking at you too, and he goes, "You know, sometimes secrets are better kept secret. You don't need to know everything about someone."
Travis, I hear you.
I agree.
Understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we're about to do something very stupid.
Yeah.
And dangerous.
And we're being led by someone who is in a not typical state of mind after losing someone and about to lose someone else, if you know what I mean. And Gris kind of side eyes.
Travis just kind of nods, pulls out 2 glasses, and pours some mead, and is like, "Do you want to talk about it?" Meanwhile, outside, Tyler's sort of like looking at you, Lione. He's fiddling with one of the wheels on his skateboard, and he's like, "So, like, did you leave too? Or, like, where did that,
What do you mean?
do you know who gave you the note?"
Oh, well, I've never seen the writing at the top. I have a hunch of a handful of people it could be.
Okay, so sick. So what happened there was, can you do a wisdom saving throw really fast?
Yeah.
No.
So, like, what happened there was, so I, like, went to, like, wizard school or something, and, like, at, like, wizard school or whatever, we, like, sometimes had to like, read, like, some books or something, and that came out of a book.
19 plus 120.
And my religious studies professor had me write that in the notes. It sounds to you like he's telling the truth.
So even though he's saying that, so how did you get it under my pillow then?
I didn't... Clearly you haven't done magic for very long, or else you would know sometimes things just happen. That was not me. That book's floating around. I'm sure somebody could have, ripped out the page, done a little magic or whatever. You know, they could be a wizard or something too.
Leon looks at him, and I'll roll persuasion for this if I have to. She's gonna say, the person who I think left this is either corruption or the gilded sorcerer. And I just need to know which one it was. So if you know, that would be really helpful for me.
Tyler makes a face. Sorry, a lot of T names here. Tyler makes a face and goes, I've never heard of either of those people. Demons? Who said demons? I'm sure they're people.
You know, one of them was a demon.
Listen, what was your name?
Lione, can you just be honest with me, Tyler? I'm going through with this regardless. I just want to know why you wrote this and whether you are affiliated with my father or corruption.
I don't know anything about your dad. Unless, is Travis? No, you're
Travis is not my dad.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sick. Thought I was gonna have to have a really awkward conversation.
No.
I mean, I don't know your dad. I can't.
Okay.
I'm a wizard. I gotta go. You should listen to whoever wrote that on the bottom of your thing. It sounds like a smart guy. Travis is calling for me. No, 1 minute, dude. I got it. I got it. And he like drops the skateboard and skateboards away from you at top speeds.
Okay. And Leon's kind of like, well, he doesn't know my dad. So then he knows corruption. And she casts message to Ari and then Gris and says, I got what I could get.
Gris immediately start like badgering with questions. Like,
well, y'all are still in the bar, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Leon's staying outside.
I do in my head.
Still not being used to the.
Leon cuts it off and then sends the message to Ari.
Yeah. But so yeah, I start a little bit and I just go, when she does that, okay. I think we're good to go then. Apparently, and I like looked at Travis. I finished the drink. I looked at Travis and I'm like, thank you. And I start pulling out a coin pouch. I'm like, thanks for the drink. Thanks for not punching any of us about bothering Tyler. That was good on you. And we'll try to leave you alone for the time being.
He shoves the coins back towards you when you try to pay. He's like, it's always on the house for you, but she needs to learn to keep her nose out of other people's business. Not everyone's as friendly as I am.
Yeah, we're learning that, and it's trying to teach her that. It's a
Wait,
we're working on it. We're working on it.
You. He's like pointing out the door.
Yeah.
I figured.
The door.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
We're working on it. If you can believe, she's a little bit better than she was.
Gris kind of like wrings her hands together, and she's like, Travis, I hope you know we're grateful for you and your friendship. And I'm sorry we put you through so much. But thank you. And she like slowly scrambles down the table.
He like reaches down and gives you an affectionate head pat and is like,
oh.
All right, well, if you see a teenager wandering around, I think your friend scared him off. So make sure he finds his way home.
I will. Yeah, we will. And we won't be around, but anything you want to send as practice, you know you're welcome to. I love hearing from you.
I'm excited to try more of your cooking the next time we see you. Gris,
oh my God.
Gris like waves like excitedly and that's out the door.
As we head out.
He watches you leave and he's gone back to cleaning the same glass.
Nice. No. This is gonna be the cleanest glass in Aliens.
It's a hella clean glass.
I'm nervous, y'all.
So as the others approach, Leon says, so he like skirted around the whole subject of pretty much everything. I managed to get out of him that he knows corruption somehow.
So you think maybe?
He claimed he was a wizard and that he found the paper in a book. But then I mentioned corruption and the gilded sorcerer and he made a face.
I mean...
And then when I asked him if he needed to be affiliated I just needed to know whether he was affiliated with either. He said, well, I don't know your father.
Oh, no.
So I think it was corruption. It's the only thing that makes sense. But I don't know how he's affiliated. Actually, would I know how warlocks work at all in this?
Nope. You have no idea.
I didn't think so.
You
like,
know about wizards and
I'm a
sorcerers.
sorceress and a wizard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't have any knowledge of that.
No.
I was just gonna say, in his defense, like, we've gotten a lot of creepy stuff from a lot of different books. So, if he really did just find a creepy thing in a book, that's fair. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's fair.
He didn't say he didn't know corruption. And to me...
But then what's corruption's motivation?
I'm not worried about that.
I know you're not worried about it right now, but at some point you need to worry about it.
Well, but we can only really do one thing at a time.
Exactly.
And we know it wasn't from him, even if it's his writing. So I think we should just keep going and try and save daylight.
I agree, Ari. Sometimes you just have to kind of do things, and then maybe you face the consequences later, whatever they may be.
No, that's really not what I meant.
But that's what
really
I'm taking
not what
from
I
it,
meant.
Ari.
That's just quite the opposite. But let's just move on.
Okay, to the Temple of Myrkul?
Yeah?
Okay.
It's just shrugs and is like visibly frustrated and concerned.
Sorry. Lione starts to head in the direction of the Temple of Myrkul.
Alright, so you all exit the city gates. There is a small footpath that you recognize and follow for quite a ways. It's got white sand and seems to have been tread for millennia. It ends at a large temple. It is just as imposing as you remember it, just as dark and creepy, although you recall it having several pyres burning nearby. Only one is burning. You don't see any clerics milling about. And there don't appear to be any offerings here.
Leon approaches the door.
So you begin to climb the steps to the temple, and someone appears in front of you. You actually recognize her. She's a young woman, dressed in vestments of a monk of this temple. You had mistaken her for a cleric the other day when she came to retrieve your grandmother's body, but upon looking at her more closely, you realize that she is, in fact, a monk. She seems kind of frazzled, not super pulled together, and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Hi. Welcome. How can I help you? Hi. Sorry, we're a little short-staffed. Can I assist in some way?
Yes. This is the Temple of Myrkul, correct?
I hope so.
Yes. I guess I'm just I'm just looking for some information on Hetrasil.
On who? This is the Temple of Myrkul, right? Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We're looking for stuff about his dad.
About Myrkul? Are gods born? Oh my... Wait, hang on. Are gods...
As far as we know, he was begot. I don't know if that's the same as being born, but they both start with a B.
Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about... Hi. I started here maybe 6 months ago. Things have gotten really weird, and I don't...
Weird?
We do have...
What?
I mean, the...
Wait. Hi. You said weird, and also it's really quiet here. Is everything okay?
I mean, and she points to Ariad, and he's like, right, about the gods, and they're like, shh, and they're like,
yeah, I looked at between Lione and Gris, and I'm like, the same weird that's been weird every single place we've visited since getting back together.
Do you have a scholar?
Yeah, so, we do. He's, I don't want to say creepy, and it's not because he's an elf. Mm-hmm. Elves aren't creepy. I think you all are great. He's weird.
That's okay.
Yes.
Myrkul was creepy.
We do have one. I'm not going in there with you. I'll take you. I'll
That's
take
okay.
you to his
Yeah,
study.
that's good.
That's fair.
Awesome. Can you not tell him that you saw me? Also, hi. Hi, sorry. Hi.
We'll just say
Hello.
we found the
Yeah,
door.
Okay, yeah.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Clarissa. Clarissa.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Don't tell him Clarissa showed you. If he asks,
Don't.
you broke in and you're here to do some grave robbing or literally something, anything like that.
I mean,
would be
I'm
great.
a paladin. I can just and they're a monk, so we could just say we were looking for him.
Right, but
I'm just small. He probably won't even notice I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I notice you. You're cute. You're like I could put you in my pocket and like we could go places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are you okay? Are you in mourning? Oh, okay. Hi, are you in mourning? She like kneels down, takes your hand really gently, and is like,
Oh my.
"Are you okay?"
Oh my god.
Gris is like, sorry. I'm just very deep in thought and a little concerned. But we are in mourning, and that's.
Are you okay? Do you need guidance? Do you need guidance?
No.
We need guidance to the study.
I'm talking to your friend. Do you need guidance?
Leone looks at Gris.
Gris looks kind of at Lione and is like, I don't want to hurt her feelings. She seems excited.
Leone casts message. Don't.
But she seemed so sad,
Don't.
and now she seems so happy.
Don't do it.
Gris kind of like squeezes her hands, and she's like, just your positivity has really lifted my spirits. Thank you so much for caring.
Wow. Okay. Yes. The lead mother was so critical of me. She was like, no, we have to be very serious all the time. I think that sometimes it helps that. Yes. All right. Hi. Sorry. Let's go.
I love her.
Let's go talk. Well, you can go talk to. I don't want to talk to him.
If you just point us in the direction, that's perfect.
You could even just point us to the right door and we'll go.
No, I'm going to take you because you can get, we literally have a maze in here and it's dumb and listen, okay, the way that we organize the religions or whatever, it doesn't make any freaking sense. Like sometimes you want a place to stay where they'll like put you in nice clothes and you can like hit things with sticks and then all of a sudden you have to go through a maze to find your breakfast every morning. Anyways, come with me. And she like grabs Gris's hand and grabs Leone's hand and starts to drag y'all into the temple.
Leone looks back at Ari.
So hard to keep up, I imagine.
Just like shake my head a bit and follow after.
Thank you for your help. It's very kind of you. Gris is like just trying to like hype her up a little bit, but is also still concerned.
She's like, oh, you're so nice. Okay, hang on. And she takes you down a series of like dark hallways that really do their like sharp 90 degree turns. You realize that it is literally a maze that she is guiding you through. Mm-hmm. She seems to know her way pretty well and stops in front of a heavy stone door. It's just sort of cut into the stone of this temple. It has a large knocker on it, adorned with a skull, which she knocks on and then jumps back. And she's like, okay, have fun. Don't tell him I said hi.
Yeah, don't worry.
Don't tell him I'm here. He's so weird. Okay, good luck. Scream if you need help.
Okay. Yeah, can do.
All right, awesome.
Seems appropriate.
Just like wait here for me when I'll be out here. Okay. I can take you back, I guess.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay. Have fun. Smooches. She like pushes the door open and like hides so whoever's in the room can't see her.
Lione kind of like shakes her head imperceptibly and then walks through the door.
The rest of you follow.
Yeah, Gris will follow after.
All right, so you find yourselves in what appears to be almost a library. The walls are lined with bookshelves, each of which contains identical tomes that are numbered starting with the number 1 and continue through a number so insurmountably large you can't even begin to fathom it.
Oh.
In the center of a room is a rocking chair, but this rocking chair is made of stone and appears to be fused to the ground, so it cannot rock.
Oh.
In the chair is what you at first mistake for a pile of fabric. Dusty, old fabric. And then you realize that it is in fact a man, perhaps? Or maybe a corpse, more like. It's sort of leathery, almost jerky. It doesn't seem like it should be able to move. But it looks up at you with hollow eyes, and you notice the ears are pointed. The hair hangs from it, dry, crisp, like old grass.
Hello?
Who enters my home? It says in heavily accented Elvish. It's almost like if you spoke Elvish with like a stronger Elvish accent. Like it's just like you're like, holy shit, that's an elf, but like times 6 or 7. Yeah.
Lione steps forward and starts to step towards the rocking chair and says, I am the Lady Lione the Bell. We were told that you may have answers to our questions.
I know who you are.
Gris kind of gasps and is like, you do?
I have known you in a past life.
A past life?
Why are you here?
We are looking for information on Hetrasil.
The door slams shut.
No.
And this sort of jerky corpse thing stands up with no small effort and takes a step towards you. Why do you say that name in my temple?
Looking for his temple. Or what remains of it. And we thought you might know, as he's the father of Myrkul.
The person kind of steps backward and collapses into the chair and goes, That was a lifetime ago. The god you seek is long dead.
What we need.
That's good, actually.
Yeah.
We just
Kind
need
of a requirement.
We just need the temple.
There are no temples left if there is no one to worship at them.
But if one were to worship at them, where might they go?
Was the last temple.
I know the place you are seeking.
Good.
My father, 2,000 years ago, was one of his last believers. He asked to have his body brought there for the sacred rites. I do not know if it happened. He was a terrible man.
Oh.
What you are looking for is Hetrasil's final resting place, where his last believers died.
Yes.
A map. I need a map.
I pull one out of my scroll case. The one we've been marking up.
I need a pen. And
Lione pulls a quill out of her bag very quickly. And some ink. And kind of like hands him the quill and holds the ink pot in front of him.
He looks at you for a moment and says, Nothing from you. You small one, do you have a pen and ink?
Well, yeah, probably. And Gris starts digging through her bag, and she stumbles on one of the scones, almost falls out. She catches it, and she's like, would you care for a scone? And she just kind of like holds it up, and then with the other hand pulls out a quill and inkwell. And she's like, both, either or, whatever you need.
He takes the quill and inkwell and dips the quill in the ink very slowly and marks a place on Ariadne's map before handing both back to you. He doesn't look at the map as he does this. Instead, he's watching Lione.
Just kind of tilts her head a little bit and kind of like scooches closer to him, and she's like, is everything okay?
Lione pulls the book out and holds open the page with the ancient Elvish and says, can you read this?
Chapter 3. Not very important.
Do you have this book?
No, it says Chapter 3. It doesn't say anything particularly important.
Okay.
Gris chuckles.
What do you mean you knew me in a previous life?
I can see your souls, child. 3 is too many for one body in one lifetime.
Yeah, I like lean forward at souls, and I'm just like, multiple?
Like soul fragments or actual souls?
She has too many. I believe you have one. Elf child, you have one. Small person, and you have 3. And no respect for the dead.
I look at Lione and I'm like, we
dead.
knew about 2 of them, right?
Get out of my temple.
Can I examine his threads?
He has no threats. There's nothing tied to this man.
He gonna
Leon
die?
says we should go.
Or, Gris is still, like, kind of holding the scone, like, she's lowered her arm a little bit, but she's still holding the scone in one hand. And she's just kind of, like, whispering 3 souls. And she's like, okay, you think we have everything we need?
We have a location.
How would you have 3 souls, Lione?
No idea.
Yours? And then she kind of is like, that one?
Jenny, do I need to roll deception for that?
15.
Yeah, roll a deception.
Okay.
Against a passive perception from Gris, since she's asking.
Passive perception is 18.
That was hold up. That was 13 plus 8, 21.
That is 21. Sorry, I had to check your math. I no longer trust any of you with math.
It's okay. I understand.
Gris, you now know that Lione has 3 souls. It seems to you that she genuinely doesn't know where this 3rd soul came from, but you've caught her in a couple lies today. So you are allowed to question it a little bit, but it does seem like she's telling you the truth right now.
Okay. Then Gris will just kind of grunt and agree to leave.
Alright, so are you going to leave?
Yeah, Lione does not like that this man has no strings. She does not like that he knows so many things, and she is getting the fuck out of there.
Well, can Gris linger for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Ari starts backing to like towards the door, staring at the man, just like, but just backing up while staring, which is like, okay.
Gris walks closer to him and places the scone like on the arm of his rocking, not rocking chair. And she once again kind of leans closer and she's like, can you tell whose souls they are?
No, but you brought a friend.
Brought a friend?
He's nearly as old as I am. You can't see him, not yet. He's there. And you feel like something like tug on your hair a little bit.
Gris is like,
Bro, what?
Okay.
You should go. I won't be seeing you for quite some time. The other one, though. The one with the...
Oh, you'll be...
With the elf,
Yeah.
The elf, the monk.
Yeah, you'll be seeing me, will you? Alright, I'll put it in my calendar. And I'm just like staring at him, like...
Not on this plane, I don't think. Maybe the next one.
Gris feels like a chill kind of like shoot up her spine. And she's like, how soon?
I'm not the one you should be asking about fates.
And Gris's eyes go wide, and she's just like, she kind of like doesn't know what to do, so she kind of like bends over, like she's like half bowing, and she's like, thank you. And she's like, really, thank you. And she kind of like reaches out to touch his like hand, and then thinks better of it, and then kind of like scurries after her friends.
Yeah, I just go, I'm quite happy on this plane for the time being. So when if we do meet again, forgive me for saying I hope it's not for a very, very, very long time.
Chris just kind of like squints at Ariadne, and then she kind of just like stares at Lione. Like she's not trying to get Leone's attention. She's just like clearly looking at her and is very like perplexed for lots of reasons, clearly.
Lione ain't paying attention. She's trying to get out of there.
And then Gris is like, should we scream to get...
Lione goes, Clarissa?
I told you, don't tell him.
Oh, I'm out the door.
Okay, all right, let's go. Where's 1, 2, 3? All right, he didn't get any of you? Did he bite you or anything? Like you didn't...
No, was that part of... did we need to worry about that?
Well, I mean...
Was that a danger?
He doesn't,
really... seems quite calm.
He's...
knowledgeable.
He's weird. I don't really know what he's like. I don't know what his deal is. He's like, he looks like he's like a corpse, right? Like he's like a corpse that's talking, right?
Yeah, he's really old. Don't know how old. He's like really old.
Yeah, he's anyways, come on. And she like grabs you all by the hands and speed walks you the hell out of this maze. Sort of
walking. Can Gris like mumble something about him being old and him saying that there was somebody older with them?
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, how old is the person with us? And Gris kind of like looks over her shoulder as they go on. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, he's probably just like talking about like that, like, you know, like you guys are like being haunted or whatever. Like that's really obvious. But like,
wait. Somebody, wait.
What do you mean we're being haunted?
It's probably like no big deal. Honestly, it sounds like you guys have like a lot of other things to deal with. It's just that like, you definitely like have like a spirit with you. I can't believe you didn't like know that.
Well, like, can you tell what they look like?
That's not really like my thing. It would take like I could, but like it would take a long time. Tell you what, I have a friend. We write all the time. She like had like a ghost problem. Somebody dealt with it. I'm sure she'd know someone who could like deal with yours. I'll give her address. You can like write her a letter, tell her about it, and she can like she'll like hook you up with like whoever busted her ghost. Okay. Does anyone have like a pen? Do you have like a pen? Do you like I
pull one out and just like.
She gonna write Lily's name down.
She pulls out a pen. She pulls out an envelope that looks like it had a letter in it before, and is like, okay, do you have parchment?
I like turn towards my other side and I pull out parchment.
Okay, all right. So, oh god, I don't remember her last name. She's got like one of those like really like an elven like last name. Okay, so it's like Liladre. Okay, yeah, Liladre.
We know her.
That's
yeah. So you can just like ask her about your ghost problem. Okay. Kisses. Have fun on your adventure. Please come back anytime. Remember, you don't have to be dead to visit. And yeah, it was really good to meet all of you. I didn't know any of your names. And it feels a little too late now. So, bye! And she, like, kind of pushes you down the stairs.
Okay. All right. Wow. That was a whirlwind.
I look at Lione and I go, I think you've been beat for most talkative.
I think you're right. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise.
No. I had so many questions to ask.
Also, we're the Ghostbusters, aren't we?
Yeah, we're the... Yeah, also, but like Gris said, if this is the thing that was pulling at Galen's hair as well, I'm concerned that we have a 2,000 year, however many year old, at least...
How do we even know that's that old?
I don't
be haunted.
Well, I mean, we knew Mung. Like, who else did we know that was that old?
But Mung was on a different plane. There's no way he can haunt us if he's not.
And we know Tafine's not haunting us because I ate her.
Wait, I do have
Lione, as you say that, you feel someone just tug on your arm very hard.
Okay, so it turns out Galen wasn't just saying things last night, because I just felt something.
They tugged on my hair when I was talking to the corpse guy.
It was when I said the thing about Tafine, so I think it might be wrong. But that's, like, not the primary issue. Ari, can you open the map?
Right.
Yeah.
And I grab the map over and I like hand it to Lione as I'm still thinking about it, and I'm like looking around me and I'm like, Mom, please don't pull on my hair. I'm just like, as I'm handing it over, I'm just like concerned.
We don't even know if it's him.
No. It's just like chanting his name kind of over and over, like, Mom?
No.
Mom? Like, are you there?
I mean, he's not responding, so maybe it's not him. And Lione kind of like cracks open the
This is parchment, not a book.
Sorry, she like just kind of like, I say cracks open, but she like opens it. Where is it marked? Where's the marking?
So I'm sorry, I'm looking at the map. I got an updated version of the map. I was unable to fit it into a scene, but we will update the one in the Discord very soon.
Okay.
The map has been someone's drawn on it, like, you know, it's very messily written, not much more than what a corpse could do. It says Last Temple of Hetrasil on the map. There's a circle and an X. It's in human territory, about maybe a few hours south of Mung's Tree, above Stone Sea.
Okay. Okay, so this is where we need to go. We need to get something to Bertram so they can get it to Galen so we can meet up with Galen here.
Okay, and I mean, sending him on this errand is already a lot. You're trusting him to just get all the way there on his own? It's like, out of all of us, and I like look around, I'm like, he gets into a considerable deal of trouble.
If he doesn't get there, I'm sure we could handle it without him. We did, however, do we not remember? We handled that golem on our own.
Oh.
Yeah,
We
I'm
did,
just
didn't
saying
we?
this.
The Stone King, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Listen, Galen has an unsavory history. He can probably skirt his way through human territory without being seen. One would hope.
One would hope, wouldn't one? But
right.
I'm just saying, I just don't want to have to double back. He's probably going to be fine. I'm just saying, I'm not carrying him again.
Yes, I think he'll make it.
Okay.
So I
it
think
seems like he's not being haunted anymore, so there's really no reason for him not to make it.
About how far is the LaBelle Manor? Because I'm thinking of just going to Bertram and telling him.
Lione.
Or would it be better to like get a letter chauffeured?
You could get back to the Little Manor. It's probably like an hour and a half. However, Lione, let's have you roll an Arcana check very quickly.
Okay. Good girly. Okay, that is 12 plus 6, 18.
All right, so as you sort of are trying to figure out whether or not you're going to write Bertram or run to Bertram, you hear a crackling sound behind you. A large, oval-shaped, sort of dark purple swirling portal opens next to you, and out steps Bertram. He sort of checks his timepiece and goes, it seems I arrived right on time, ma'am. I was fully prepared to have awkward conversation with whatever clerics are... No clerics. I was fully prepared to sit on the steps and wait for you.
Bertram, I appreciate it. And Lione shows him the map and says, this is where we're going. We need Galen to meet us there. Can you get something to Valdithus?
I have just the thing. And he sort of reaches down towards the ground. On the ground are like various sized stones. It looks like, like almost river stones, as if people have been bringing them as offerings to the god, but they've sort of been discarded. He removes one. He holds the map in one hand, the stone in another, and begins to say something incredibly complex in a language you don't understand. The stone begins to glow with some sort of blue rune, and he holds it and says, I will send this along to Valdethus, and when Master Wavefair has a spare moment, he will be with you as soon as possible. Give or take
Thank you.
2 or 3 miles.
With the stone?
Thank you.
Well,
The stone?
it's not necessarily my forte. It's not a spell I have to do often. If you ever need anything laundered very quickly, I know, man.
I'm sure Lione will appreciate that. You might come to regret that offer around us.
I don't know. I think you could stand to bathe a little bit more, Master Arya.
I agree.
Gris looks down at the pollen on her tunic and tries to brush it away. Perfectly welcomed. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And Ariadne, I was sent with a message from... I was specifically told not, Sir Steele, that there was something he wanted you to do here.
Oh, yes. Right. I have to go talk to the talkative girl again, don't I? Okay, I'll be right back.
Very well.
Huh?
Lady LaBelle, your mother sends her good wishes and says you should return home very soon.
Tell her I will.
Very well. I thought I would let you know Sir Marius is sleeping.
Good.
Yes, I did a little...
Thank you.
He's quite concerned for you. We will see you upon your return.
Thank you, Bertram.
He gives your head like a fond little pat, almost as if you were a child again, and then steps back through the portal, disappearing.
What
He can go
want
that
you to
far?
do?
I
Leon's not even
figured
phased by the portaling.
Yeah. I zoomed away while they were talking. Did they follow me?
Oh, I guess we were still talking to Bertram.
Yeah. So Leone says this without even looking, and when she doesn't get a response, is like, where did Ari go?
They left? They went back towards the temple.
What did Marius want them to do? And
I have no idea.
what?
They said they had to talk to Clarissa. The talkative one.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll wait.
So, Ariadne, you climb the steps.
Yeah.
And Clarissa kind of sort of pokes her head back out. Oh! Okay, you're still here. Hi, are you trying to convert? I don't really know the conversion process. It's honestly it's a pain in the ass. I mean
No, I'm quite happy at my own temple, but your maze is lovely. No, I just forgot with the creepy corpse scholar and the haunting. I fumble and I pull out a delivery from Mr. Marius Steele.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
And I hold it out like this.
She opens it, she unfolds it, she reads it very quickly. She goes, "Oh, this is super easy. Do you know, would we pick up the body from that manor or from the other one? Does he want it says he wants something at sea? I don't do you know which temple I would go to really coordinate that one if I had to?"
Yes. In fact, I'm overwhelmed by how quickly she's talking, so I go take a deep breath and take one question at a time where I'm I don't really know. He is currently staying at Lady LaBelle's manor, and that seems to be where he is resting. So I would assume that should this be the case, you would go there. And I'm not wanting to think about it, so I move on and I go, the temple would be Umberlee's. The Oceania, they know him. You can talk to them. They'll know what he wants.
Okay, awesome. And then there's a mention of I have to treat somebody as if she's his widow. Does he want me to do I can with the I can do the ceremony that like binds them after the death if like he wants to meet her on the next plane or like whatever. Do you know if like if that's what he meant by that? Like I can do that.
Yeah, no, I and I like soften a little. I'm like, I expect that's exactly what he meant, and it's actually, well, you met her. It's Lady Lione. So I expect that should this come to pass, yes, that would be exactly right.
Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully I don't have to see you for this, but
Yeah, no, you're lovely. Love to talk, listen again sometime, but not for this circumstance.
oh no, yeah. I mean, most people tend to agree death is bad. I mean, here, death is great. It's good. It's great. She's like pointing at the ceiling, like, no, it's cool. Like we dig it. We're okay. Thank you. I will put these in the file. Oh my god, I have to go back in that room. I will put these in the files, and if we get the notification of his passing, we will do what we must. It was lovely to see you. Like I said, you don't have to be dead to stop by. Yeah, take care of yourself. It's interesting that you use a sword, not a stick. If you ever want to like talk about like your choices, please come back. I'm so lonely.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. In fact, and I like look at her for a bit and I'm like, I do tend to stay with Lily. You know her. If you ever want to write, I expect your letters can reach me there.
Okay, awesome. I have so many questions. I have like so many. I'm gonna like write them all down right now before I forget. And then I expect you to answer all of them. And you have to like give Lily like a hug for me. She's not a huge hugger. She's all like no, but like she like I just like give her a hug for me. You seem like her type. Has anyone ever told you that? Like you should like if you know Lily, you should like she's. I'm just putting it out there. Like good friend, got a wingman.
No, I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll write you back. And then start like backing away. And I'm like,
okay, remember what I said about asking her out?
Yeah, I'll do that.
May Myrkul escort you through the next plane and into the one after that. Okay, bye. It's so good to meet you.
Before Ariadne comes back, can I talk to Lione?
Yes, you and Lione do get some time to RP here.
Okay. Gris, after like being confused about Bertram and the portal and the rock and how that means that Galen will come to them, then kind of like gets a little quiet. And she kind of almost at a whisper, but more a little bit softer, just says, Lione, can you see threads like Tafine could?
Yeah, I can.
The corpse? I don't know, he never said his name. Mentioned that he would see Ariadne soon. What is Ariadne's?
I haven't
look like?
To be honest, I haven't looked at any of your threads. I kind of have to like focus in to be able to do it. I haven't looked at yours or Ari's. I feel
I don't need you to look at mine, but do you think you could maybe peek at Ari's and at least just maybe don't tell them, but
I don't know if I want to do that without telling them. That kind of just feels like, hey, I know what's gonna happen to you, and I'll just keep it a secret.
I'm just worried that their thread might be shorter.
But that's not what Tafine said.
What do you mean?
Well, remember Tafine told us all what our fate was? She said mine was the worst, and yours was pretty bad too, and Ari's was good, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose everything. Yeah.
Is that what
Do you want me to look at yours? That is not what Tafine said. Do you want me to look at yours, Gris? I'll do it if you want me to.
No, please don't look at mine. I don't want to know. But have you looked at anybody? You haven't looked at mine?
I have not looked at yours. But I have looked at Marius's. I have not looked at my mother's. And I looked at the man in that room.
And what was his like?
He didn't have any.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm still learning.
What does Marius's look like?
It's barely hanging on, Gris. It's barely hanging on.
And you can't see, because the threads they diverge sometimes, right?
There's not much thread left for Marius, which is why I'm so intent on finding this solution, because threads can change.
They can? I thought there were only
Fate has to be able to change.
But no, because before you and she said that I didn't have many choices that I could make.
That means maybe for you.
But wouldn't you be able to see the choices that you could make or Marius could make? I don't know. Never mind.
I can't see the choices, right? I can only see the strings.
You can't see the branches. You cannot see any of the branches that Mung was referring to.
I didn't think
that
so.
Seems to be something that has to do with divining rather than actual ability.
I can only see the strings.
Mm.
I can't. I don't. I can see the strings, and that's all I've got. I could do it since I ate the pearl.
Mm.
Gris, are you sure you don't want me to look at yours?
I mean, have you maybe look at it real quick and then...
Can I look at Gris's string?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It looks good. It's like, it almost looks like a rope. It's so like thick and well protected.
Mm-hmm.
It wraps itself around you and presumably around Ariadne. It appears to be bound to a lot of people throughout its course, but it has enough slack and give that it seems as if it's never going to really snap at all. It will reach its end naturally.
Gris, your string looks good.
Really?
Yeah,
But,
like really good, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Thanks, Lione. She's like, nice.
Hell yeah.
She's like, maybe I... Wait, Lione, if you ever see Reese again, will you peek at his? Don't tell him. Do not tell it. Don't tell it. Just tell me. Okay.
Ariadne, you arrive right as Gris. You can hear her whispering, if you ever see Reese again, can you peek at his?
So I've zoomed back, uncharacteristically out of breath, just because of how much information was like just words were thrown at me. So I say, okay, no, I'm back. I don't want to know, but I'm good to go when you are. And I look between them both.
I mean, I'll just tell you. I can, like, see the strings of fate.
Oh, you can... Yeah, that's part of the pearl swallowing deal, then?
Yeah.
Is that what that's about?
Yeah, I can do that. So, I just took a look at Gris's. I feel weird about, like, looking at, like, yours and Galen's, like, without your permission. Do you want me to look at yours?
You know what? I'm quite good for now.
Okay. This is just something I can do, so you just let me know.
And your apparent multiple souls, but I want as little to do with those other souls as possible.
Yeah, what would the third one be?
No idea.
No, I'm not gonna think about that right now.
Did you get what you needed to do done, Ariadne?
Oh, yeah, there was just a lot happening.
Why did you need to go
I'm glad
speak to
Bertram
Clarissa?
reminded me. Marius had a letter delivered. You nobles have too many friends, I swear. How do you keep track of them all?
Ari, can I get a deception
Yes, you want me to roll?
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
That's good. Deception. Lione, what's your passive perception?
Oh god, it's 11.
Gris, what's yours?
I
want to say it's
13.
It's 18, isn't it?
So, Gris, Ari is lying. Lione, Ari is being casual and cool.
Okay.
Gris will note that Ariadne's lying, but doesn't really want to bring it up in front of Lione. So she'll just kind of like keep that in her head. She's kind of squints at Ariadne for a second, like.
Yeah, I'll just like give like a back, like in that I'm just still out of breath, and go just like slightly raise my eyebrows at Gris, just ask later.
Lione, you didn't know that Marius knew anybody at the Temple of Myrkul, but like that's kind of it.
Okay. Lione kind of just like watches them like looking at each other and is like, okay, so we should go because Bertram's gonna tell Galen, and then Galen's gonna head there, and the last thing we need is Galen getting there before we get there. So
I don't know, if you need to steal something, Galen might be the person you want to get there first.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well then
No. I'm also concerned that I have to be the one to take it. I don't know for sure. But I'm worried that if I don't take it and then I try to do the spell.
It's like with the ghost, the spirit,
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm just a little concerned.
You know what? I'm perfectly fine. Just letting you take the lead on that.
Yeah.
If something flies out, I'll swat it for you. But other than that, I'm not sure what we can help you with.
All right. Well, are we gonna head to Hetrasil's final resting place then?
I guess so. How far away was it on the map?
Just a few hours, right?
No, so this is if you want to pull up
above Stone Sea.
Yeah,
I put it in. Yeah.
It's above Stone Sea. It's quite a good distance. It's gonna be
a couple days.
That's gonna be 2.5 days travel.
Okay.
You guys are gonna be cutting it real close to the next full moon.
Yeah, shit.
I put my hands on my hips and like, so Bertram left the portal service. Not for us then.
Is it 2.5 days on foot, or is it 2.5 days with a carriage?
It's gonna be 2.5 days, a combination of carriage on foot. Roads don't really go out there. It's gonna be you could take a road as far as probably the Vinric River Valley, and then you might have to start doing some feet. Okay. You could even take it to the road. There's a bridge over Stone Sea that is presumably as far as you could get, or as close as you could get.
Well, we need to go now in order to make it back in time.
Yeah, okay.
Chris kind of nods enthusiastically, especially after hearing about Marius's thread. And she's like, okay, well, let's head that direction.
Yeah, I feel like Lione would head towards the closest place where she could grab a carriage to hire for them.
All right, so you managed to grab a carriage. The merchant who owns it is in fact heading to Stone Sea and is happy to take you that far. He does require payment, which Lione, you happily give him. You always have more than enough gold. You arrive at the bridge and begin walking through human territory. There are a few farms, but this is largely sort of clusters of trees amid prairie land. You all sort of switch off who leads, trying to match pace with Gris, though eventually Ari, understanding the time pressure, offers to pick Gris up and carry her on their shoulders. Finally, you arrive in the general area marked on the map. It's a little hard to make things out. It's been about 2 days of travel. You haven't really stopped to rest. Lione seems pretty insistent on just continuing forward. Gris has done her best with Goodberry and whatnot to keep you all sort of in relatively good health, if not spirits. Leone's very serious. Ariadne seems to have witnessed something equally serious at the temple. And Gris, you're feeling for your friend, honestly, it sounds like. However, you find yourselves in a large field. The ground is almost unnaturally flat, littered with large boulders that seem to have been cut and carved by some sort of knife or other object. It's pretty dark, and you have to squint to make out shapes in this field.
Can I do a perception check?
Yeah, you can.
Is now the time.
Okay.
Now's the time.
All right, let's go.
Oh,
time to perceive.
That was a nat 1.
Oh, you perceive nothing. I
perceive nothing.
3 + 7, 10.
All right. None of you really see much of anything. Lione, you got a 1.
Yeah.
Lione, you don't see anything, and you are suddenly hit by a huge wave of just hopelessness. You've been through a lot. You've been trying to power through it. You've been looking for solutions, and you don't see any temple. You've spent 2.5 days traveling here. You're running out of time, and this is a big empty field. I don't know how you would express that feeling, but feel that as you may. Ari, this is a big field. These rocks are kind of interesting. They look like they've been carved. They look like they might have like fallen off of something, like some kind of old building. Gris, these grasses, you can weave them into baskets. You've done it before.
Okay.
Nice. I love that.
Can I take a closer look at the rocks?
Yes, you can do a religion check.
Okay.
While Ari does that, Lione is like, are you kidding me? We get all the way here, and it's a field? A field? A field?
It's the last resting place. It would be like a burial ground. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, or ruins, as I'm walking up. So I got a 10 plus 4, 14.
It was a religion check?
Yeah.
I'm also going to do divine sense.
Okay. So you're
You can do
feeling
that
for...
Good and evil.
There's nothing.
Fuck.
Ariadne, you're doing a religion check on one of these rocks?
Yeah.
You kneel very close to one of the rocks. You get your face real close to it. You're squinting at it hard. You tumble forward a little bit as you do so. You got really way too into leaning on the rock. And your foot falls through a hole in the ground. Sort of like your leg gets lodged inside of something so that you're kneeling down on one leg and the other leg appears to be dangling into some kind of hole in the ground about the width of your thigh.
Okay, I sort of yelp, down falling in, and I'm like, I'm fine, I'm in a hole, it seems, and can I try and take my leg out?
Lione rushes over.
Yeah, let's get a strength check. Actually, let's call this Dex.
I was gonna say, I
can do Dex.
I can do a help. Can I do a help action? Because I'm gonna rush over.
It's 17 plus 5, 22.
You don't need to help.
Okay.
Ariadne, you wiggle your leg out of the hole and you kind of roll out.
Okay.
And this leaves nearly a perfectly circular hole in the ground.
Can I look in the hole?
Can I look in the hole?
I was like, Gris is gonna look at Ariadne and make sure they're okay.
Ari and I are just peering over the same hole.
Yeah, I look at Gris, but I wave her off. I'm like, I'm okay. Just startled, and I peer in.
Gris then looks in the hole as well.
So the three of you all are on your hands and knees, peering into this hole in the ground. It's kind of hard to see. There's not any light down there as far as you can tell. Do all of you have dark vision, if I remember correctly?
And Gris turned into...
if it's also too dark, I can cast Prestidigitation, just a little bit of light.
Okay, so you can Prestidigitate. Did you want to wild shape into something, Gris?
I'm kind of thinking, so how far down is the drop? Because Ariadne was able to crawl back out.
Well, so Ariadne's leg just got stuck. It's not big enough for a whole person to fall through.
I would wild shape until you can see the bottom.
Into a bat?
Ooh, yeah, you could be a bat. You've seen a bat before. Yeah, she lives in the forest. She definitely seen
That's
a bat.
cool.
Yeah. So Gris is going to wild shape into a bat.
So Liam, you do Prestidigitate. The fire seems to disappear into the blackness.
Jesus.
And before she wild shapes, she's like,
blackness.
She's like, I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna see what I can see or see what I can locate.
Echo?
Yeah. And so she turns into a bat and kind of flies around the two before diving into the hole.
Lione looks at Ari and is like, it doesn't get any less weird.
No, it really doesn't.
It stays weird.
Okay.
Should I do a perception check or an investigation check?
Investigation.
Okay. I'm gonna just do it here. Easier.
I called
I got
out
a nat 20 plus 2.
Let's go!
Nice.
All right, Gris. You flutter into this hole in the ground. It seems to go down for a good 30, 40 feet.
Okay.
At the bottom, you see what appears to be a temple entrance, with stairs leading up to a columned entryway. The there's a large carving above the entryway in the same language you saw before that Marius had referred to as Ancient Elvish.
Is there a way for her to like get into the temple, or is it like someone needs to physically?
There's a door. You would have to like open it with normal sized hands.
Okay, so Gris will kind of circle around, investigate everything, and then she's going to fly back up and out of the hole. And then she will turn back into her human form.
Pause. I'm unable to stream to Twitch right now.
Oh?
Okay, it fixed itself. Wait.
Okay.
Hang on.
I was like, it showed you as live.
It's looking fine.
Are you sure? Because
No,
on my end it
buffering.
says 67 kilobytes per second.
It's buffering. My mom's.
Yeah, it's working on it. Ooh. I haven't seen it do this in a long time. It's jumping from like 2,000 to 0.
Oof.
Is Twitch
It looks good now.
No.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, it's looking fine now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, now it's giving me 35,000 kilobytes per second, which doesn't seem correct.
That doesn't seem right.
Alright, so Gris, you saw that there was a door that you could open with your hands. You were flapping around the room.
Yes, I saw that there was a door. I didn't want to open it by myself, so I'm going to fly back up and out of the hole and return to Ariadne and Lione. From there, I will turn back into my human form, and I kind of cough a little bit. Your halfling form, halfling human form, and I kind of cough a little bit, just because I imagine it was kind of dusty in there.
So what did you say?
And she's like, "Good news. There's a temple. It's it's just a temple, an underground temple.
How far down is it?
Some stairs.
Yeah.
Like 30, 40, it's kind of far, like 30, 40 feet. We'll have to find a way to get down there.
Oh, okay.
But there's the same language that was in the book, so I do think it's the right place.
Okay.
Oh, that's good to know.
I mean, good. Not that any of us can read it, but that, I mean, we're putting the puzzle pieces together. I think this is obviously the right place. How are we going to get 40 feet down?
I'm just glad that wasn't a bigger hole, or there would be a Ari-sized splat on the bottom.
Yep, the broken Ari.
Well, I could go back in, and then I can only wild shape once more without taking a little bit of a nap.
Well, I mean, maybe since we can't wild shape, maybe we should look for a way to get down there that we can all use.
Well, maybe I can go down and then see if there's a way to get back up. Stairs going into the temple.
But no stairs going down?
No.
Okay. Well,
but I could go back down and go through the door and then see if there's another way in. Or we could...
You didn't see any way in down there.
Okay.
Other than this hole in the ceiling.
I mean,
do we have our adventure? Do we have our adventurers kits on us?
Yeah, rope.
Yeah, if you got your inventories.
I've got like 50 feet of rope.
How stable are the rocks?
Hey, can everybody roll a history check?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're missing something.
7.
18 plus 6.
13.
24.
Lione, you pause for a moment, and you are struck by an odd memory.
Okay.
It's a memory of Ariadne being shot from something quite high off the ground, and then landing perfectly fine from about 30 feet of height. It seems like, maybe this thing was meant for rotten squash.
Hey, Ari?
Yeah.
Do you remember getting launched out of a pumpkin launcher?
I mean, yeah.
Do you not think you could do what you did there, but that way? And then, like, I don't know, catch us or something?
I mean, yeah, I don't know about catch you. If you trust me to catch you, I'd probably do that. I don't know. I was like, I don't know how much, if that taking that damage was enough, that was all. But yeah, then
Yeah,
you
could do that, yeah.
I can take 60 of reduce 60 of falling damage. That's why I was like,
it would be less than 60.
Okay, so I was like, I don't know if slow fall applies. Cool, then I can go. I look back down and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can jump down there, but I can probably catch Gris, all right. Are you good with me trying to catch you? I mean, strength, like, I'm not all that muscly.
Does that question for you?
I have an answer.
So I have Grasping Vine, which will conjure a vine from any ground or unoccupied space that is within range, which is 30 feet.
It won't slow a fall, but it will grapple your team members if you want to grapple them.
Like, if I were to, go down there.
No.
Okay.
So what if I just jump down and on this? See if I see anything else that...
You have to make the hole bigger.
Would the vine work?
It's close.
If Gris were to cast it on the top, it grappled and then grew? Damn it.
You do have rope.
Okay, other question I have for you. I have transport via plants. Would there be any sort of plant?
There are roots growing through the ceiling.
But there's nothing down at the bottom?
I mean, like, there's roots at the ceiling. You do have a rope.
Yeah.
I'd like to point this out.
Start digging.
And you don't have to use any spell slots for a rope, which you might need your spell slots, and Gris already used one.
Yeah.
Lione
is separate.
Okay.
Lione puts her hands.
It's just a bonus
skill. Lione puts her hands together and says, okay, this is what I postulate. We make the hole big enough for all of us. Ari jumps down there. We tie our rope to these rocks. We kind of
extend a little bit, and then we can fall into Ari's.
Or like
loving arms.
Maybe if we fall, Ari can catch us as a backup, right?
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Let's do that.
I have already started trying to dig with my hands. I don't know if that would work.
The hole starts to get bigger. It's kind of slow going.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like maybe if you had help, this would go a lot faster.
Yeah, Lione starts helping.
You're gonna dig with your hands, Lione?
Absolutely not. She casts Mage Hand.
Oh my god.
Gris is going to 110% get in that dirt and do it with her hands and her feet and like a wild animal.
Gris is more effective than the Mage Hand, which is wait.
Because Mage Hand does what Lione does, can I have 3 hands working on?
Yes, you can.
Then that is what I will do.
So Gris is digging like a dog.
Yeah.
Ari's kind of they've come up with some hand scoop action, maybe? Does that feel right, Pippin?
Yeah.
And Lione is every time she's
exactly.
Oh.
I do want to note that having seen Lione try to just use Mage Hand alone at first, I was like, this really would go faster if you used all 3 of your magical and non-magical hands.
I am.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm before you started, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gris kind of looks up and she's got dirt on her face and all over her.
How did that even happen, Gris?
And she's like, you could do it with a little more enthusiasm, too. This is so slow, but this is a lot more fun.
Define fun.
Yeah. Exciting. Enjoyable.
This is not fun.
To each their own. And she goes back at it with a fervor.
So the hole is now wide enough to fit one person at a time through the hole. Okay. Including Leone's thick hips.
Okay, so I feel like Lione would be like, Ari?
All right. Yeah, and I look down once more, just probably not even see anything, but just survey, and I sit down on the edge, and I dangle my feet over for a hot second, and then I jump down.
All right, you use your, is that feather fall? Okay, slow fall.
No, it's slow fall, yeah.
You're fine. You land at the bottom and look up, and it is quite a ways that you've come down. You can see, with your dark vision, you can just make out Lione and Gris's faces peering down at you.
Okay.
Once Lione sees that Ari has made it to the bottom, she ties a rope around the rock, and says, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? I can go first if you'd like.
Gris is like, go ahead.
Okay. Wait, can't you wild shape again?
I could, but I don't know. I should save it.
Okay. Okay, so Leone's...
Is there anything on the floor that I should move out of the way in case they do fall?
No, the floor seems to be like fairly clean. Okay. Actually, remarkably clean.
Okay, so Lione kind of
athletics check, Lione.
Yeah, I know. I knew that was fucking coming. My athletics is really bad. My athletics is...
And I never get to make you roll it. I'm very excited.
No. I think the last one of
11
the last
plus 1, 12.
Was like carrying Galen.
So you start to like slide down this rope, and it's very ungraceful. About 10 feet from the floor, your arms sort of give out, and you start to fall. Ari, would you like to catch her or just step back?
No, catch.
Okay, let's get an athletics check from you.
Yeah.
Gris will kind of call down and be like, everything okay?
Nat 20 plus 5, 25.
Oh my god.
You catch Lione like she's a damned princess. You cradle her in your arms, and then you set her down very gently on the floor, and she is able to dismount elegantly.
Thank you, Ari.
You're very welcome. I like dust myself off, like even I'm kind of impressed at myself, and then I go, I think that would even make Marius jealous.
Oh, definitely.
Gris will call down. Are you ready for me? Is it time?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gris will descend down the rope. Do you need any sort of check, Jenny?
That's gonna be an athletics check.
Fun. 9.
Gris, you make it about halfway down, 15 feet, and your little arms give out. You find yourself falling through the air.
I'm just gonna scream, Ari!
Yes, I try and catch Gris as well.
Athletics check, please.
Yeah. 14 plus 5, 19.
You catch Gris. It's not nearly as, like, suave, but you do fully catch her and are able to set her down on the ground.
Well, it's a smaller target. I gotta...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's some, like... Leon, you were able to watch Ari very comedically, like, move back and forth, their hands in the air, like, I got it. You know, like football players do.
God,
they catch Gris like this around the waist and set her down.
Gris exhales so heavily. She's like, I should have just been bad again, Ariadne, thank you. And she goes to, like, put her arms around Ari's waist.
Oh, man.
And, like, a hug.
So you all are now standing on a dirt-packed floor. It is exceptionally clean, swept free of gravel. You can even see what appear to be broom marks on the floor. In front of you stands a large temple. It has intricately carved taverns depicting mounds of skulls supporting the... intricately carved tavern columns depicting, like, piles of skulls supporting the columns. The temple itself is carved out of a dark gray rock. Carved above it is something in ancient Elvish, which, as you stand, begins to glow blue, basking you in its light. We will return next week, 6 p.m. MST, 8 p.m. EST, here on twitch.tv/the Tabletop Tavern _ If you're not caught up, we are on Spotify and YouTube, both of which should be completely updated very soon. Until then being next week, take care of yourselves, be good to each other. We love you all very much. Thank you for your continued support, and we'll see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.